Every 9 years, the whole of Sweden came to one place. Not for a market, not for a wedding, not for a king's funeral. They came for a festival, where the trees themselves became altars. They called it Uppsala. And according to the only detailed account we have, the Vikings sacrificed 9 males of every living thing, and hung the bodies in a sacred grove. Yes, including people. This is the story of the most infamous ritual in the Viking world, and the Christian monk who told us about it. Around the year 1070, a German cleric named Adam of Bremen sat down to write a history of the Northern Church. In that book he described a temple at Uppsala, more magnificent than any other in the north. A temple so important that kings sent gifts to it. A temple so sacred that people traveled from every province of Sweden to stand before it. Inside the temple, Adam said, stood 3 great statues. Thor in the middle, holding his hammer, the most powerful of the 3. On one side, Odin, the one-eyed god of war, death and frenzy. On the other side, Frey, the god of fertility, peace and good harvests. Each god had his own priests. If famine or plague threatened the land, the people sacrificed to Thor. If war came, they turned to Odin. If it was time for marriages and the land needed to be fruitful, they sacrificed to Frey. But every 9 years, something far bigger took place. A great communal festival that drew people from every corner of Sweden. No one was exempt. Kings and commoners alike were expected to send gifts or appear in person. Even those who had already converted to Christianity were told they had to attend, or pay a fine to stay away. And the sacrifice, Adam tells us, was this. Of every living thing that is male, they offer 9 heads. With their blood it is the custom to placate the gods. The bodies were then taken to the sacred grove that stood beside the temple, and hung from the trees. The grove was so holy, Adam claimed, that every single tree was considered divine, made sacred by the death and the slow decay of the victims hanging in its branches. Dogs, horses, men, all mixed together. One Christian who had seen the grove with his own eyes told Adam he counted 72 bodies suspended in the trees. The festival lasted 9 days. Each day they offered 1 man along with other animals. By the end of the 9 days, 72 living creatures had been sacrificed. It took place around the time of the spring equinox, when the days finally begin to grow longer than the nights. That is the story, the only detailed one we have. But is it true? Adam of Bremen never set foot in Uppsala. He was writing from Germany, hundreds of miles away, relying entirely on second-hand reports. Some of those reports came from people who had every reason to make paganism look as dark and terrifying as possible. Christian missionaries and chroniclers often exaggerated the bloodiness of the old religion to justify its destruction. And the archaeology does not help Adam's case. No mass grave of 72 bodies has ever been found at Gamla Uppsala. The Great Golden Temple itself has never been definitively located. Archaeologists have uncovered post holes that may belong to large wooden buildings, animal bones that look like they were part of rituals, and traces of intense activity. But nothing that matches the picture of trees heavy with hanging corpses. Some historians believe the number 9 was deliberately inflated. 9 was a sacred number to the Norse. It appears again and again in their myths and rituals. Exaggerating the scale would have made the story more shocking to Christian readers. Next time on the Grubby Past, what the average Viking actually ate. Forget the giant feasts and roasted boar. We're talking the real, often grim daily diet.